Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Now, today on the table in front of us, we have a really interesting knife. This is the Bestech Fractal, and this was sent on to me by the Apex Pass Around group, something I am very grateful for. It's been kind of making the rounds in our little reviewer group, and it landed with me a little while ago. And my first thought on opening the box was, what the hell is this? I mean, a couple of things are going on here. One, it is a very complicated knife in its design. And what I mean by that is it's got these holes back here. It's got carbon fiber inlay, which is done very, very well, by the way. It's got this really aggressive ano job that I don't like at all. But that's okay. This isn't my knife. This is just a review knife. It's got a compound grind on the blade. And look, there's just a lot going on. And so my first thought was, But then I carried it for a while. And an interesting thing happened. I don't find it visually appealing. This is not a knife for me. Now, they do make just an all-flat gray titanium version, which would appeal to me more. But even then, this isn't really my knife. But that doesn't change the fact that after having it for a while and carrying it, it is a very good knife for daily use. Now, what am I talking about? Well, the handle, which looks odd because of these cutouts and the way that they've done the carbon fiber inlays, is in fact very, very comfortable. That matters quite a bit. It is just a good knife to hold on to. The jimping, which is not too aggressive, but is useful, allows for excellent push cuts. There is nothing that interferes with the cutting path, except for what is kind of an oddly large choil. You can't get your finger in there, of course, but it does mean that the edge starts where the knife blade thins rather than being back here where it's thick, so there's no smile, which is very nice. The compound grind means that, look, it's very sharp, even on the thicker portion of the blade, but up here where they ground it thinner, this thing is very slicey. So tip cuts work beautifully well. Push cuts back here on the slightly thicker part of the blade are really good. It allows you to get forward on what is a nice robust tip because of the way that the blade is ground. This is one of those knives where just because it doesn't appeal to me visually doesn't mean it's not a good knife. This is a very good knife, and that is cool. Not all knives are for all people. They don't have to be. This one, while I would not want one in the collection, I would want one if I needed a good knife to use on a regular basis. I mean, it really does stand up in that regard. One of the party pieces on this knife is the action. Now, it is on bearings because it is Bestech, and they do a marvelous job with that. But this thing is so drop shut. Now, you got to get it past. See that? You got to get it past the detent. But once you break that plane, man, this thing just drops shut like crazy. Now, this has been carried. It is broken in a little bit by a number of different reviewers. But Bestech does such a good job with that. On their budget stuff, on their high-end stuff. These are about $216 on Blade HQ right now. I wouldn't spend $216 on it. But I'll tell you what, if this had come just in gray and not rainbow bright, you know, I might have thought about it a little more. You guys know I don't do a lot of color in my knives. I like knives that are black or gray or silver with some ano highlights from time to time. This is more than that, but some people really like a lot of color in their knives. And so if you want an interesting knife that comes from the factory with one fascinating ano job, well, maybe the Bestech Fractal is for you. Let's go ahead and do some measurements. We line that up. You get 1, 2, 3, almost 3.5 inches of cutting on just slightly over, if you go to this tallest point of the handle, just over 3.5 inches of S35 VN. It is very, very well done. It even says S35 VN. It is got a little bit of Bestech branding on the blade. If it was billboarding goes, that's not too bad. I like that quite a bit. The overall knife is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1.5 inches long. It is a larger EDC, and I'm not going to lie, because of the dimensions of this knife, the way it looks, when I saw it, even in other reviews, I thought it was smaller than this, but it's a good size knife. Let's take a look at the handle width while we are talking about it. We'll zero that out. And we will move this to millimeters. Let's do blade stock first while we're in millimeters. Back here to the thickest point, the blade stock is 3.7 millimeters. I don't know if you guys, there we go, 3.7 millimeters. The handle at its fattest point, now it is kind of a rectangle, so its fattest point is basically the length of it. It's just over, just over 1/2 inch. That's a really well done knife. I do enjoy sizes like that. It's comfortable for my grip without being bulky in the pocket. The grip area, if we go from just behind the flipper tab, is 1, 2, 3, and a full 4 if you come back up this swell, and of course I do. And this manages to fall just between my ring finger and my pinky finger very, very comfortably. Let's do a weight on this thing while we're thinking about it. I'm sorry, I bumped the camera there. I'm doing that a lot lately. We work in kind of small quarters here at a Therapeutic Edge headquarters, and it shows sometimes. You guys can see that. That's good. This knife weighs in at 4.7 ounces. Now, for a full titanium build with almost a 3.5 inch blade that is not milled, is it milled? Nope, it is not milled on the inside. 4.5 ounces is not bad. Excuse me. What was that? Yeah, 4.7 ounces, 4.5 ounces isn't bad. I mean, it's not spectacular. It's not what I would call a light knife. But it's interesting because it's got such kind of a disco science fiction appearance to it. But it is clearly built for use, and harder use at that. I don't know. Let me look again. No, there's no milling. I thought maybe I saw some, but I don't. It is a frame lock, as you can see, which is acting a little bit like a bolster lock because of this carbon fiber overlay, which also acts as the over travel stop. God, that action is good. You get it past that point, and it just drifts shut. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, I think it's funky, but do you like it? Let me know down in the comments. Let's do some size comparisons here, even though we measured it out, so we know what we're looking at from, kind of all angles. We're going to add something new to the party. We have in the collection now, thanks to Women Carry Knives, a lightweight PM3. And as you can see, the PM3 is considerably smaller than the Bestech Fractal. This is an excellent knife, by the way. Our regular small knife comparison piece, which is the Benchmade Bug Out, again shows that the Fractal is a larger knife without being enormous, which is very nice. And as a larger knife comparison, here of course is the Ritter Hogue, which is of course a stand-in for the full-size Benchmade Griptilian. And if we line up the pivots, you can see that the Fractal has a very similar size handle with just a little more blade. It is, for all of its funkiness in its design, a really effectively built knife. I love when I'm wrong. I thought for sure I wasn't going to like this thing. And don't get me wrong on that, I don't enjoy it this much, Anna. But from a user's perspective, from a working perspective, the Bestech Fractal is a very nice knife. If you're looking for something with a very unique design aesthetic, a very interesting design set of characteristics, maybe check out the Bestech Fractal. You might love it. I don't know. That might just be your kind of thing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. You have been my amazing audience. And this has been the Bestech Fractal. Watch me go. Please like the video on your way out. It does help the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to have you here on a regular basis. We'll see you next time.